Hello and welcome to On the Record, your playbook for tapping India. Today we are continuing our second part of due diligence series where we are trying to see what are the areas where a startup goes through a due diligence so that you can be prepared, and whenever you are going through your next due diligence during your next fundraise, you can be well prepared and shorten the due diligence time so that the money can come into your bank faster. If you haven't watched our part 1 of this series, I strongly recommend to go and watch that, because here we are covering half of the topics and half of the areas have been covered there. So it's important that you watch the part 1 first before watching this. So the next area of due diligence is technology. In technology, they would look at what are the emerging trends, how up to date you are with the technology, and what are the technology risks, like any specific change and stuff. Can it impact your company so bad that you are out of business? So these are some of the aspects that the due diligence team will look at. How does your current stack looks like? What is the kind of innovation or updatedness you have? And how the new technology trends which are emerging, it impacts, and how well you are prepared to incorporate those trends into your current stack. This is a very important area, especially with tech companies, because tech is your biggest IP. And if you are not updated or keeping yourself ahead of the curve, you may actually be out of business very soon. And that's where it could come as a big red flag from the due diligence team. Of course, when we talk of tech, you cannot ignore the infrastructures that you are using. What is the capability, scalability level, and how much it fares, or how does it fare in your overall stack. Also about the data privacy, security and management. How a data breaches are controlled. Can it be hacked? How secured are your systems? Are you following the best of privacy standards like GDPR and all? And how secure and safe is the data of your client, of everybody else in your company? And that is gonna be a crucial importance from which the due diligence team will also look at it. Now let's look at human resource aspect of due diligence. Here all the employee records are up for review, all the employment contracts, the pay slips, the pay structure, how you have done, is it complying to the specified laws or not, all the payments have been made, how the stock options has been issued, what is the current status of various benefits, like whether the stock options, how much are vested or not, if somebody has exercised, all those things are properly recorded or not, whether share certificates has been issued or not, and all the payroll related, labor laws related compliances, taxes has been paid or not, any licenses that was needed around labor management, offices, everything is in place or not. So these are the things that they will look at from human resource practices. They would also look at policies and practices. How is your employee retention policy? How is your motivation? How do you create loyalty among the employees for a better retention and a much more loyal and motivated employees? They would also look at in detail around safe workplace compliances, like is your workplace toxic? Is it safe? Is it conducive? What kind of training programs do you roll out to your employees to keep them updated and ahead of the curve? What are the other benefits that you do? What is it that you are doing better than the industry? All these things will be up for due diligence. Then another aspect is the founders and key management personnel. So it is important to have strong, not just contracts, also what is the dependencies on key management person, what are the clauses of confidentiality, solicitation, because they control and they are so much key to your business. How do you retain them? And in case if somebody exits, then what kind of controls, checks and balances you have in place so that they either don't start something similar business, don't join a competitor, don't solicitate a lot of your team members, because they are key management and founders. They have a higher influence on the overall team. What kind of contracts you have in place? How are you mitigating your any contingencies? These are the things that would be up for due diligence during HR aspects of thing. Then comes risk management aspect. So this includes things like, in case if you get any potential claims or damage suits from any stakeholder, it could be customer, it could be employees, it could be partners, it could be vendors, it could be advisors, it could be anyone. So any potential damages that you could or the company can foresee, do you have appropriate insurance coverages for this or not? In case if not, some of the important ones we strongly recommend that you should evaluate and try to get them in place so that again you save time and don't just wait for the due diligence team to highlight this. The second thing in risk mitigation that they would look is the contingency plan. First, they would try to identify what are the potential liabilities that could occur, and whenever that occurs, what are the contingency plans that you have. So it is good that you should list out all the potential liabilities, see what can be covered under insurance, and just the insurance coverage is not sufficient because any potential liability could have bigger repercussions. So you should also have a contingency plan. How would you go about addressing them? This is gonna help you not just safeguarding the business but also be ready with a contingency plan which could be put into place as soon as something of similar event happens. And also it helps you to save time during due diligence. That's broadly in the category of areas that we could identify. This helps a lot. This is what we have seen in majority of the due diligences that goes on. So if you keep your data ready and keep adding the incremental data, it's really gonna save a lot of time. I could say at least your due diligence time can be faster by 30 to 40%, and it could help you to close the next fundraise fastly and seamlessly. Just to recap, there are the 5-6 areas that we spoke of. One is the financial due diligence, then comes legal, then comes business and operations, then comes technology, then comes human resource or employment, and then is the risk mitigation. So these are the 6 areas that you should be ready with so as to help you accelerate your due diligence process. Thank you, and that's it. Take care.